Mike Murdoch. Thursday. My clock here shows 5:02 p.m. About 15 or 20 minutes ago, right in the middle of all my organizing my world here, my little library, I call the Joy Room now. The Joy Room. I'll probably change the name in a few hours, few days. I felt a stirring about the mind and the heart of a protege. Protege is a serious learner. Elijah mentored Elisha. Naomi mentored Ruth. Paul the apostle mentored Timothy. And I was thinking of the life-changing secrets I had learned. And I want to say something in a few minutes when we have a few of us join me here. To find a mentor, there's not necessarily one in your lifetime. That would be like your father and your mother. But the difference in men is who they're willing to learn from. The difference in children are who they're willing to learn from. The golden secret of life, the golden secret of life is receiving. Until you receive, you have nothing to give. No money, no gifts, no investment, no conversation. And we hear so much about giving, sowing. But remember, you have to be a receiver, highly skilled. Those who tell you they don't have anything, I don't have anything to give, shows you they've never mastered the golden secret of life is receiving. Receiving difference. Receiving correction. Receiving an opportunity. Elisha wanted to receive from Elisha. He didn't want to leave his sight. And we all say, isn't that humble? Well, it's humble, but it's brilliant. To be a protege requires profound humility. It involves the willingness to be corrected. To be a mentor is incredibly stressful. If you think mentorship, think of a father and mother and the child. Which one of those do you think have the greatest stress? The child or the mother and father? The mother and the father. The stress in life is on mentorship. Giving, reaching, protecting, guarding. Mentorship is profound. I want to say something here that's unbelievable. 99% of all the mentorship I've received has been me reaching, me pursuing, me asking questions. I haven't had a lot of people wanting to mentor. That's why I bought 13,000 books for my library. I'm reaching. I want to talk about the mind of the protege, the learner. Wisdom key. What you never hear, you may never, never, never know. What you do not hear twice, you may never, never remember. Oral Roberts said the secret to learning was repetition. He said the greatest mistake pastors are making is they want to change their sermon every Sunday when the people cannot even remember what they said last Sunday. I went to Bible school 3 semesters. I couldn't tell you 3 sentences that I learned in Bible school. I want to say that again. I went to Bible school for 3 semesters. Good professors, but I couldn't tell you 3 sentences. I couldn't tell you 3 things I learned in Bible school. I owed $550 going into the 4th semester, and they called me to the counselor's office and told me I had 14 days to get out. And I said, I just got a job at Sears. If you'll give me a few weeks. No. If you can't pay the $550 today, you're out of here. Now let me remind you something. It was an Assemblies of God Bible School. Thomas Harris, Blake Farmer, the president. I traveled with him many miles and sung at his meetings. George Brazel, the joyful jokester who was the vice president. I sat for hours at P.C. Nelson's Bible College. The reason I was late with the 550 is Dr. Farmer felt like the Rotary Club was going to give me a scholarship to Southwestern. The Rotary Club in Lake Charles, Louisiana, my home, gave me a scholarship to McNeese State University. But I chose, instead of accepting the scholarship, I chose to go to Bible school. And I was there 3 semesters. The first semester, all the student body voted me in as the president of the Bible, of the whole freshman class. The second year, vice president. They voted me in to be vice president of the second year. So I wasn't exactly unseen and unknown. But the money. Daddy didn't have $4 a day. I got a job at Sears in Roebuck. 3 weeks I got a raise. And I told the head people there at the Southwestern, Waxahachie, Texas, I said, just give me a few weeks. I just got a job. No. Rude? Of course. Mean? No. A man without money is a man without friends. A man without money is a man without favor. A man without money is a man with closed doors. On February the 4th, 1966, I think it was, I left Bible school, got in my 1953 Chevrolet, and drove back to Lake Charles and started preaching my first crusade when I was 19 years old, February the 9th, as a full-time evangelist. I got my license, my ordination with the Assemblies of God. Did I know how to learn? No, not really. No. But I want to master, I want to emphasize today that if you're a serious learner, you're a very rare person. But you even have to learn, how do I learn? %, of everything I ever learned in 78 years, 99% was never repeated to me. Every person had a different communication, a different conversation. What my dad told me, Oral Roberts never told me. What Oral Roberts told me, Jimmy Swaggart never said. And there's the mystery of learning. Subconsciously, we think. Subconsciously, we think. If something's really important, somebody will tell me. Wrong, wrong, wrong. 38,000 times I've walked to a pulpit, I figured out one day. 38,000 I've walked to a pulpit. 12 hours a day of teaching, preaching, whatever I knew. Whatever I knew. Who was my first mentor in life? My mother. Master communicator, conversationalist, and very direct. If your hair looked bad that day, my mother would say, I've never seen your hair look this bad. What's wrong? What happened to you? A preacher's wife, famous preacher's wife, had a dress on. My mother said, where did you get your dress? And the famous preacher's wife said, I made it. My mother said, I thought it looked homemade. That was my mother. I thought it looked homemade. My mother was a people person. My father was the opposite, closed down, didn't want any talking at the table. Many, many times I felt his thump of his finger on my forehead because I talked too much at the table. Stay with me. Some people learn through pain. Some people learn some things from their parents. You can learn from pigs if you'd rather leave daddy's house. Some people rather learn from pigs than preachers. That's okay. That's your life. I'm going to talk to you about learning. The fastest way to learn. The fastest way to learn is through mentorship. Learning from someone willing to correct you, encourage you, inspire you, motivate you. True mentorship is relationship. Not, I read this book. He mentored me. He's my mentor. True, the highest level mentorship is through conversations between two people. Your mentor is not perfect. Your mentor is not perfect. Your mentor will make mistakes. It's a rare mentor who will tell you about their mistakes. Because nobody wants that. My father hated for me to discuss my mistakes. He said, son, I don't think you've ever made any mistakes. He said, I really hate for you to say that to people that you made mistakes. I said, Daddy, I've made big mistakes, huge mistakes, some I can't believe I made. What do you want to know about? Well, you don't even know unless somebody loves you and say, you should try to know these 5 things. The Holy Spirit. Become an expert on one topic in the Bible. 3, ask questions contingent. When you don't know what questions to ask, you say, what questions do you think I should be asking you at this time in my life? Now let me talk to you a little bit about people. Everybody's different. Everybody's different an hour later. Everybody has moods. A famous healing evangelist preached at the Wisdom Center, and one of my preachers just worshiped him. In fact, I almost thought they were going to get married, and 2 homos together, because I never saw such worshiping in my life. And one of the young men on my staff was just gaga over this preacher until they got in the back room in my office, and the famous preacher became a different person. And suddenly, the young preacher was in a state of shock. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of him. Oh, well, you don't know 99% of anybody. You don't know 99% of anybody. You think you know your husband, your wife? If you heard them on the phone with their girlfriend or somebody else, you would be shocked. Everybody has many parts, and you've got to live with that and accept that. The greatest quality of a mentor is patience. The greatest quality of a protege is adapting. I want to emphasize again, the golden secret of life is learning, receiving. Learning is receiving. You must master how to receive. You must receive people with flaws, hidden or not, known or not. You must accept that. You must accept that everybody is hiding something. There's not a person in the world that's not hiding something. I was reading about Billy Graham's departure home. His last book he wrote, his regrets, his mistakes. We all worship Billy Graham. He's got a book that is worth reading called The Evangelist and the 12 Presidents. The 12 Presidents. What are some basic things about people? First, you have no idea how smart they are until they're in their vein, until they're in their flow. You can sit with somebody for hours and never know how brilliant they are until someone tells you later, by the way, that guy's a billionaire. What? What? He's a billionaire? Well, he was so nice. Nice has nothing to do with brains. The friendly are not always brainful. The brainy people are not always friendly. Who are you willing to learn from? My last conference in Nairobi, Kenya, great church there, great woman leader. I had meals with the president of Kenya, the vice president who's president now, loved my books in Bible college. We had great conversation. Stay with me. But in that meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, God gave me a revelation. And the revelation was the difference in men. 42 that I recorded as I recall. What's the difference in men? Let's talk about your difference. Have you discovered your gifts, your talents, your skills? I can't speak foreign languages. Swahili is the easiest in the world for me. Swahili out of Kenya. That was the easiest language I ever had. I paid a lady $100 an hour, hour after hour after hour after, and I knew 2 words at the end of hours, hundreds of dollars. I paid her $100 an hour. I had to accept. Now, when I was 18, I wanted to speak 7 languages. It took me years to grasp it's not my gift. Piano, I could play it with my eyes closed. Do you know the gift that God has invested in you? Do you know the gift inside you that you're not developing, that you could? Have you discerned the opportunities for mentorship around you? I want to take you through the learning path of my life. When I was in the 6th grade, I started raising my hand asking questions, and the whole class would roar because I didn't understand. They all understood immediately things that I couldn't get, and that's when I realized I was a slow learner. Is there anything wrong with being a slow learner? No. There's a difference in IQ. a difference in speed, a difference in people. But just know your weakness. Just know what you don't know. Know that you're slow. Know that you're not skilled like some people. But whatever God has put inside you should be discerned, recognized, protected. Whatever God's put in you, major on it, focus on it. Don't try to be everybody. Be the original, authentic you at the highest level. Does a protege want to be praised and admired? Of course. So does a mentor. It's the secret drive inside of every human for attention. A little girl, 2 years old, dances in front of her daddy with the new dress. Daddy, 2 years old. Delilah is already in her trying to get a man's attention at 2 years old. You are whoever you are. I've been making decisions. If you knew what happened last night in my world, it would shock you and stun you beyond words. I'm still shaking from what happened last night in my world. Sixth grade. I get to the 11th and 12th grade. I'm trying to sit there under Mr. K, who was the number one history teacher in all of America, voted in as the number one by the Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Institute in Pennsylvania. I sat there listening. He was rough, brilliant, number one history teacher. And I sat there on the back seat trying to grasp what he was saying. D- was my grade, right at failing. I didn't know a cotton-picking thing while we were studying about Athenians and the Grecians and the Roman Empire. Why are we doing this? Police walked in on a Monday morning and handcuffed him because he had been caught peeping through an apartment to see a naked woman. They threw us in another class. I sat there on the front row in that class, and a man named Mr. Fox leaned back, smiled easily, joked, and I made straight A's. I went from D- to straight A's. Why? A teacher makes a difference. A teacher makes a difference. I'm not blaming everything on the teacher. Absalom and Solomon had the same daddy. Absalom and Solomon had the same conversations with David. One turns out to be an idiot. The other one's the smartest human that ever walked on the earth. Who are you willing to learn from, but what do you need to learn about? I bought 13,000 books, and when my car broke down, I decided I was going to master how to repair a car. About 6 months later, going through mechanic, I said, this is nuts. I don't want to know anything about repairing. I want a repaired car. There's some people love to study, love to be under a car and finding things wrong. That's not me. But it took me 6 months of looking through to find out what I didn't want. I like what Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb and the battery, 5,000 experiences to find the light bulb, 10,000 to find the battery for Henry Ford in New York. There's some things not worth learning about. Some things you'll have an interest in for 5 minutes. If something cannot keep your attention, you don't need to be learning it. You don't need to be learning it. You can't be anything you want to be. Can you become? You can become many things what you'd want to be, but you can't be everything. No elephant flies. Birds don't bark. Do you know your authenticity? Do you know your authenticity? Do you know your authenticity? Do you love it? Do you? I watched my TV programs today too, tested them, and I sat there and shook my head and I said, I've never heard teaching like this in my lifetime. The wisdom keys that came on my TV program, I sat there and I thought, my Lord, only God could give a man these phrases called wisdom keys. Only God could. Now, let me say something. The members of your family are not always rewards. They're your preparation season. Your family is not crazy about you. Some have those spots. I don't care how much you love them, like them, you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to leave home as soon as you can. I understand that. I don't understand that. But stay with me. Stay with me. I remember when I wrote the song, I am blessed. I am blessed. Oh, every day that I live, I'm blessed, 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 blessed. And I went to my mother and dad's house, drove over there, sat down at the Acrosonic, the Baldwin Acrosonic piano. I said, Daddy, I want you to hear a song I just wrote. It's one of the first 5 songs I ever wrote. And he nodded, and he jumped up and went to his back room and brought a cassette recorder to show me a friend of his, an old man, had played some songs. He said, my friend I went to school with, he just wrote some songs. My daddy didn't want to hear my song 30 seconds. Never has. Never has. Fabulous man of God, pray 4 hours plus a day, but he had no admiration of anything I ever did. Now, I'm saying that for a reason. Didn't make him a bad man. If you can manage your family and their rejection, if you can manage that and see that their purpose is preparation, not reward, not reward. Joseph's brothers hated him. David's brothers hated him. Just stop there. Wait. Brother Mike, what am I doing wrong? Nothing. God said a prophet is not without honor except in his family, his bloodline, and his town. Even Jesus had to leave Nazareth and go to Capernaum. Now, I know I'm talking too fast. I know that. Stay with me a little bit. What you love is a clue to your assignment. Your assignment is not to anybody who doesn't enjoy you. Your assignment is to someone with a problem who sees you as the golden solution to their world. Your assignment is geographical. Where do you belong? You belong where somebody claps for you. You belong where you're admired. You belong where somebody wants to hear every word that comes out of your mouth. That's where you belong. I've thought many times about the Apostle Paul. If you'll notice all of his 14 books that he wrote, if you count Hebrews, every book he wrote has a different tone, a different vocabulary. You would never believe in 1,000 years that the guy who wrote Romans wrote 1 Thessalonians. He was different, constantly changing, which brings this to the point. You are constantly changing. Your Monday friend could become your Wednesday enemy. Never forget that people are continuously changing. Continuously changing. But somebody loves who you are, what you say, what you value. Somebody does. Somebody does. There's 92 facts about an enemy in my book, Law of Recognition. It's the best book outside the Bible ever written, bar none. It's free on my website, Mike Murdoch Books. Not everybody can learn from you, and not everybody wants to learn from you. The two most famous preachers since the days of Christ had sons that didn't want to be close to their father at all. While one dad was praying for the sick, his son was in Las Vegas singing songs. Don't think that rejection is unusual. It's normal in the family bloodline. How am I affected when someone has rejected me that I wanted them to like what I did and admire what I did? I remember Joseph and David and Jesus. And I remember that a family sometimes, and I'm not on my family right now, I want to show you something. But it dawned on me that if they were blind to who I am, could I possibly be blind to who they are? It works two ways. There's somebody not admiring you. What's the proof you admired them? Basic wisdom keys. Basic wisdom keys. There's not a day in your life that you're not blind to an opportunity. Not a day in your life. Somebody told me that the guy who tried to kill President Trump and shot his ear, that, do you know how close that is? Only God could have saved President Trump. Only God. Now you said, boy, I bet the guy who killed the killer, who killed I bet he really got a raise. Somebody said he got fired because he didn't follow the instruction. They told him not to kill the killer, not to kill the sniper, but he went ahead and did it anyway. So they fired him. I was told that. Romans 8:28 is golden, and we know that all things will work together. There's 4 scriptures I want to bring to your attention. Number 1, is bad things happen. The best people get crucified first. But Romans 8:28, God will turn it for good. When God gets through blessing you, you're going to actually say, the hell I went through turned out to heaven. God turns everything evil something good for his people. Job 42, when Job prayed for his friends, his captivity was turned. God gave him 2 times. The double blessing is coming. The double blessing is coming. The double blessing. You haven't yet received all the harvest God has for you. Genesis 8:22. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest. Seed time and harvest will remain as long as the earth remains. Our God said that through Moses, the writer. Mariana, your man's sitting over here. I'm so glad with those words. Dr. Murdoch, you're teaching us core beliefs toward maturity and success. Pastor Anna, I need good words. I need good words. Mark, Kedrick, Jill Rhodes, Lynn, Joyce Lee, Johnny. Who are you willing to learn from? A man I never met turned me around financially at 21 years old, month of June 1967, as I sat on the fourth row in Victoria, Texas. This is why I'm saying it. Learn anywhere, anytime, from anyone. Master being the magnet for knowledge. You can't believe what you can discover. Say, they used to ask me on the plane, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a learner. No, I mean really. I said, I really am. That's what I do for a living. I'm a learner. I'm a learner. I'm a learner. Are you a master learner? On a scale of 1 to 10, are you a 10 learner, a number 1 or 2? When do you learn? Can you learn from anybody, anywhere? I'm going to walk you through 3 or 4 things. Number 1, John Rucker. I made D-, 11th, 12th grade, and we had moved over to Louisiana. And suddenly on the wall was X plus Y equals Z. And I'm as messed up. So after the first 6 weeks making D-, right at failing, I said, Mr. Rucker, would you stay after class to teach me? Because I don't understand one thing you're saying. 2.5 hours later, I went to straight A's and A pluses. I'm a genius with numbers. I don't even use calculators because my mind instantly. I'm not just talking about 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 7, 42, 7 times 8 is 56, 9 times 9 is 81. I'm talking about numbers just click for me. Nothing slow. I'm a numbers man. But guess who helped me? A man named John Rucker, who took the time. Very cautious, very neat. After he spent 2.5 hours with me, I could tell you a lot of good things about myself there. Mr. Fox, history, straight A's. A teacher, a mentor takes the time. A mentor wants you to succeed. A mentor will make any adaptation. To help you succeed. Two sentences in Warren Buffett's book, and I stared and stared. He had an old used car, and he read one book by Benjamin Graham on investments, and he drove all the way to New York. A protege pursues, reaches, asks questions. A protege wants to learn. He became the second richest man in America. Later, number 3, Elon Musk, $339 billion. Bill Gates, $79 billion. I read one sentence in a Bill Gates book that was very hard for me to read. Very hard for me to understand Bill Gates. I didn't understand his vocabulary. But I admired him because he was the richest man in the world. If you're going to learn from anybody, learn from someone who's overcome poverty. If you're going to read any books, read from somebody who's mastered poverty. Because next to God, money is desperately the gold. Well, Solomon put it this way. money answereth all things. Now, I haven't met any Christians at all in my lifetime who much believe that at all. They don't believe that. But Solomon said money is a solution. Money is an answer. I was in a, well, I'll let you go. It's time to go. I just felt so stirring a few minutes ago. I felt stirring that I had to talk to some of you about the learning in you. Some of you change all your plans just to sit here with me while I share with you and talk to you. What's the best part of you? What's the worst part of you? What's the weakest inside of you? If you fail, where will you probably fail? I learned years ago that I had a problem with anger. I was 4'11", going into the 11th grade and 12th grade, 4'11", and every time we made a move, my daddy's move, they always picked on me. I was the shortest guy in the class, and so I wanted to master bullies. I learned many years ago what my problems were, finding out some new ones. If you want to succeed, what do you want to do? Number one, admire someone who's successful. Admire someone who's successful. Number two, reach, pursue. In 1,000 years, I would never be invited to a meal with Bill Gates, but for $20, I could buy his brain for 3 hours. I can offer books for free. And people say, I know that. Oh, then don't listen to me if you know everything. You're God Jr. You're number 3 after Solomon. Jesus, Solomon, and now you. I don't want anything to do with a non-learner. I have no place in my world for a non-learner. I got a phone call. One of the richest men in Australia, worth $5 billion, wanted to see me on his 50th wedding anniversary in Austin, Texas. They said, Peter J. is going through Austin for 4 hours. He'd sure like to talk to you. He was a man that was an illiterate bricklayer. He could neither read nor write. And he went to a Billy Graham crusade, accepted Christ, gloriously saved, became a billionaire. Oh, that's good. That's great. Are you kidding? He wants to see. Yes, I'll be there. I canceled a flight that I had to go to another direction. I don't remember what it was all about, but I'd already. And when I walked in there, I told my secretary, I said, book me for the next flight to Austin. She says, you're already flying out, you know. You're going to lose $500. Now, this is the difference in brain. I will lose $500 in exchange for 4 hours with a billionaire in Australia. You think I'm going to grab $500 when I can talk to a man worth $5 billion? Well, money isn't everything. Well, let's don't talk about it anymore then. Let's just forget about it. I don't think I've met 5 Christians interested in prosperity. I don't think I couldn't tell you the names of 10 people in my world who have a passion to prosper. Money, yes. Wisdom, no. Every time we've been together, Peter J. Daniels would tell me, I read 7,000 biographies as soon as I became a Christian. 7,000 biographies. I can predict your future when I know who you have a passion to learn from. I can't shake it out of my mind. Riding in the car with Oral Roberts. And I said, Brother Roberts, what's the top secret? Maybe 3 secrets. I said, I've never seen a $1 billion ministry. A man, some churches can't even build a 2-story church, and you have a 58-story medical building. Please, what's the secrets of your ministry? I still see him slowly saying, Brother Mike, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. A young man sat beside me after a TV program one night, and he says, Dr. Brock, tell me the secrets of success. I said, well, son, I have to know what your goals are. The first secret to success is, who do you want to become? What do you want to accomplish? Who are you willing to listen to? Some weeks ago, he sat in my office and told me he was my 56th millionaire. Had become 56 millionaire under my training teaching. Who can you learn from? What's the investment you're willing to make to learn from them? Did I change my flight? My Lord, yes. My Lord, yes. My Lord, yes. One sentence is golden. One wisdom key can unlock your palace. One. Zachary, thank you. Billy Ray, thank you. Fredale, Batanda, Lewis, Renee. Would you rather have admiration or would you rather have wisdom? Father, your sheep know your voice. I want to dedicate a song to all the partners. I believe in a harvest. My God has given me seeds. I believe in the blessing. Jesus made a promise to me. Oh, I believe that mountains move and there's nothing my God cannot do. I believe in a harvest. Jesus made a promise to me. We'll show you on the screen the ways you may want to support us. If God doesn't impress you to stand with me for the TV, I'll be on the radio in 9 minutes. 7 o'clock, 7 nights a week on Heaven 600 and iHeart Radio. In 9 minutes from now, I'll be on the radio. And the teaching, the wisdom keys are profound. They're profound. Every time I get through teaching, I stop and think, did they have any idea how golden wisdom keys are from God? Thought I had here it is. Your excellence in servanthood will decide who shows you favor. Your chosen daily focus is the master you serve. Your future is decided by who you choose to believe. Your mind is your greatest investment. Your attention is the golden guide to your next season. Your reaction to the Word of God is a picture of your respect for God. Your reactions to goodness decides who believes in your trustworthiness. Your words are the first step in moving from disorder to order. Father, bless the PayPal, the Zelle. Bless the partners that are with me. And I ask you to breathe a new schedule, Lord, for every seed that's not yet come up. Father, I ask you for the 10 harvest, a debt-free home, financial wisdom, financial endorsement, financial ideas, financial protection, financial discerning, financial favor. I ask you to open our eyes and let us see the problem closest to us is the door to our next season. Problems are the secret path to trustworthiness. And trustworthiness is the master key to favor with God and people. Father, I pray for those who are sowing seeds of honor into my personal life. And everything you do for me, do for them. Every time you give me a miracle, give them one. God never screams. One whisper from God. And I remember what happened. I was kneeling in my prayer room. I just had triple bypass surgery, heart problems. And the Lord gave me 3 words: decisions, decide, wealth. He gave me 106 decisions, and I wrote them out. What's the first step toward wealth? Respecting those who have earned theirs. The willingness to listen to someone willing to teach. Amen. Felicia, I did not see your C77 seed today. Did you send it to my personal PayPal or the ministry? But I have not seen it yet, but I'm thrilled that you just told me. Robert White, thank you. I'll be meeting with Apostle Joshua Selman tomorrow, the Lord willing. He's a man I have profound respect for. And I think there's going to be a miracle tomorrow. Joel, Bonnie, Samuel, Jerome, Brazil is here, Nigeria, Sam, South Africa. Thank you, family. Thank you with all my heart. I want to close with the ABCs. Always remember your ABCs, your assignment, the Bible, and the covenant of the 100-fold return, Mark 10. A, your assignment. Wherever you see a problem that you love to solve, your assignment's rich. I'm going to be sending you a book in a few days on the assignment. It's worth it. I believe in the harvest. Genesis 8:22. God has given me a seed. I believe in the blessing. God promised me. Oh, I believe that mountains move and there's nothing my God cannot do. I believe in the harvest. My God has given me a seed. I love you. Thanking God for this opportunity. This is precious. Father, I ask you for a 10-fold return within 90 days. Whoever plants on the PayPal a seed of honor to my world, my life. Whoever plants a seed of honor, whatever the seed is, I ask you in 90 days for a 10-fold return. because you promised 100-fold during our lifetime. Relationships and real estate. It's the secret of the Jesus life. Good night. Oh, I got to go. Radio time, 3 minutes from now on Heaven 600. 7 o'clock every night of the week. 7 o'clock. And I hope you're a part of it.